focus on the retail industry. Even retail is a small part of the segment, you are being targeted because retail is a very fast-growing industry, especially on online market. So it will be the next generation format for the growth of retail in the next future. So because there are new technologies coming out for retail, there is also an increase of risk of cyber attacks because you are opening a large target area for hackers to be able to come into your infrastructure. Let's go to retail statistics. So 24% of cyber attacks targeted retail, more than any other industry. So I conducted the same summit, no, for manufacturing, and the data for manufacturing is more or less 14%. So you'll be surprised. Retail is a more targeted market segment, no, with 24%. 34% of retailers said cybersecurity worries were the primary hindrance in moving to e-commerce. So this is really true because as you know, as you move on to a newer technology, like you move to e-commerce, digitalization of your infrastructure and your processes, you open a huge amount of target surface, no, attack surface for the hackers to be able to breach you. 34% also of the retailers said cyber attacks or privacy breaches were their most common serious digital threat. So that is a good indicator that in your industry, you are already aware as well of the impact of cyber attacks, right? Next is 99%. This is a very high stats, no? That only means that financial motivation is the number one why hackers are doing what they are doing in the retail industry. And 42% of the payment information and 41% of what we call PII, so that's the one being targeted on your side, payment information and PII possibly of your customers. So that's the crown jewel that the hackers are looking on the retail segment as a tool to be able to exfiltrate money from you guys. No? So be wary of that and protect that crown asset. What are the types of cyber attacks affecting retail? So you have hacking, the classic phishing, right? So sending you an email, then there is a link. And remember, guys, no, you have to be wary as well that in any cyber kill chain attack, your employees are the weakest link in the cyber kill chain. Meaning because not everyone is technology or maybe cybersecurity savvy, so they do not scrutinize what they are receiving. So malware, ransomware, DDoS, data theft is there, farming, and website spoofing. So they may be posing as your legit website, where in a matter of fact, they are just spoofing your website to be able to communicate to your customer. So knowing that cyber landscape a while ago and the cyber attacks affecting retail industry, what else do you need to know? So this one, the after effect of data breach on retail industry. What will be the impact of successful cyber breach on my business operation? Yan yung number one na tatamaan sa atin. Because our service will get disrupted, right? Because of a cyber breach. The most important is really the brand reputation. Imagine, right, if you have me on our side, when I used to handle yung operation team ng cybersecurity of PLDT Group, no, I can't sleep at night. So I wake up at 12, I wake up at 1, every hour I wake up. Because knowing the fact that there are a lot of cyber threats out there, and then if and when PLDT Group or any of our entity will get breached, it will be on me and to my boss, the CISO, and to our group, the hack, no, that will happen. And we don't want that to happen under our watch. Number 3, finances. Because if you are publicly listed, maybe in retail, you will get sued by your customers because of, the breach, the data that they are entrusted to you get breached, right? Next is partner relationship. Now, cybersecurity is a matter of trust. So if and when there would be a breach that happened to your organization, you will lose a lot of trust from your partners. Not only from your partners, but also your supplier. The bottom line is your customer. So some of your customer, because loss of trust, will go to other brand because you as an organization did not do a due diligence to protect us, right? So that's the feeling of your customer now. Now let's move to ransomware. This is the latest attack that we are seeing in most of the industry and also targeting retail. So ransomware is a form of a malware or a malicious software. So they try to embed this to, for example, a link, an email attachment, applications. And be wary that most of them, especially the crack software, may contain ransomware. So never do that. And then when the hacktivists got hold of your data, they will encrypt it. Then again, as I mentioned, they will give you a message that you get ransomware, and then they will only give you the decryption key. if you pay this amount of money, right? So what are the stats in ransomware, no? 44% of retail organizations were hit by ransomware attack by 2020. And more than half of those, 54%, said that the cyber criminal has succeeded in encrypting their data since 2020, no? So the numbers would be higher today, no? Kasi this is already 2022, no? And we are a group-facing customer right now. I see a lot of customer getting hit by ransomware, asking assistance from PLDT. In cybersecurity kasi preparedness is the key, no? So most of the enterprise were not prepared in terms of cyber preparedness, no? $1.97 million, this is on a global scale, no? Is the average bill for rectifying a ransomware attack in the sector. 32% paid the ransom. That's very, very critical, no? Kasi if, for example, you have a proprietary information in there and you don't want that to be exposed online or on the dark web, right? So you have no choice. You are pushed on the wall. You have to pay ransom to be able to get it. But the realization here is that the consequences of not being prepared on a cyber attack could cost much to a company rather than investing a portion on your cybersecurity strategy. So rather than waiting for the when, why not invest a portion of your revenue to fortify your cyber defenses so that you would be ready in future cyber attacks? Let's go to an APAC region. So we are the #1 region attacked by ransomware, roughly 51 times per week. If you digest the data, why APAC, right? Because APAC is the emerging market, no? So the fastest growing, the technology innovations that are being implemented, like 5G, IoT, are being deployed in Asia Pacific. And there is an increase of 168% of attacks in APAC only from May 2020 to May 2021. And this is the most alarming stats that I will share on my next slide. Ransomware stats in the Philippines. So these stats really scared me when I first saw this, because it says that Philippines is in the crosshair of ransomware group. So we are #1 most attacked country in APAC, according to Group IB. 69% of Philippine companies get affected by ransomware last 2021. And 51% of those companies paid ransom. And the skepticism is increasing. 70% of Philippine companies expect. So this is a good indicator. Although this sounds negative, but at least the companies are preparing. They are expecting a breach coming in the next 12 months. That's why, very heightened is cybersecurity nowadays, because getting more and more companies are getting breached, getting ransomware, getting any forms of cyber attacks. No? So you have to be wary of that one. No? So another one is Internet of Things. This one, that's a reality, no? Because more and more devices will be connected to the internet, no? So imagine for us in PLDT Group, we have our mobile company, Smart Communication. We are aggressively rolling out 5G, diba? So some of you might experience already 5G signal on your end, right? So the best characteristic of 5G is a faster data transmission. So with that speed, with low latency, and with the amount of bandwidth that 5G could give, the next logical technology that will boom in the next 1 year or so would be Internet of Things. But the problem here, since many devices are connected to the internet, it opens again a largest attack surface, because all of these have IP addresses, right? All of these are communicating via internet. So some of you might already be adapting to this paradigm shift, but be wary as well that Internet of Things could be an entry point of attack on any cyber breach. Re-engineering the cybersecurity perspective. I say in cybersecurity, based on my experience, it all begins in mindset, no? Changing the mindset. So what needs to be changed in terms of perspective? This one. From defensive to offensive. Because most often than not, no, we are operating on a defensive stance in cybersecurity. Meaning, we are installing security controls because we are anticipating that there will be attacks against us. For example, we are installing firewalls. We are installing IDS, IPS, intrusion detection system or intrusion prevention system. But don't have a false sense of security, guys, that if you have a firewall in your infrastructure, you are 100% secure. That's not true. Next is from technology-based to skill-based. Technologies are getting evaded. You need to develop skill set as well in terms of cybersecurity. From vendor-driven to concept-driven, we should not always listen to what the vendors are saying. It is you who knows your environment, so better to have your own concept in terms of cybersecurity.